Okay, so we are not going to wait. We're going to start. Okay, and then for the chat, I'm going to stop the talking to everyone. All right. So let's go on. Actually, there is this particular video I will be sharing with you. Okay, you don't have to watch it now. You can watch it later. Basically, it's about growing a very large crystal. Okay, growing a very large crystal. The QR code is here. The YouTube link is also given here. If you're interested, of course, you can, copy it down. I can send it in the chat also later on. Okay, so we did not finish worksheet 14. Okay, there was this question. Remember, I told you I want to change the diagram, right? So I changed it. Okay, so this is the correct diagram. The earlier diagram, you see some spots here, then you see additional spots here, and then the answer didn't tally with the picture that was being given. So I didn't like it. I had to change it no matter what, and I did. Okay, so this is a sample of fruit juice here. It's being chromatographed to identify types of sugars it contained. After treating with a locating agent, the chromatogram was obtained. So we talk about this locating agent already. So this part is already completed. So we said that, okay, because sometimes spots on the chromatogram can be colorless and invisible to the eye. So we need to put this locating agent. Usually it comes in the form of a spray. So we just spray on this chromatogram and the chemical will react with the colorless spots, right, to produce a colored substance. So you are going to see colored spots instead. Okay, so this is actually the colored spots after you put the locating agent. Okay, then the next question is how many types of sugars are found in the fruit juice? If you look very carefully at the column or the path that the sugars travel in the fruit juice is actually this two. So therefore, we are going to say that there are only two sugars found. All right. Next question, which sugar is not found in the fruit juice? So the method for you to actually get this answer, okay, is to make sure you're drawing straight lines and using your ruler, okay? Sometimes the spots can be quite close and you might accidentally assume that it's actually traveling the same distance. So you use ruler to draw a very horizontal line. Okay, make sure you get the correct line being drawn. Okay, so you have the first one indicating these two spots actually traveled the same distance. So glucose is found inside the fruit juice. Another one is actually fructose. Okay, and then this is the one that is not found. So this is not in the fruit juice. Okay, so since you cannot see any of it appearing, this is our answer. Okay, hold on. Ananya is here. Jensen is here. Good. Let me quickly just mark the attendance. Okay, so galactose is not found in this fruit juice. Question 13b, you have a second chromatography experiment carried out on sample F. F is a mixture of dyes. Okay, so it has been suggested that F might be used as food coloring. So if it is used for food coloring, it must be safe, isn't it? It has to be safe for people to consume. So therefore, you must carry out certain tests in Singapore. The institution, okay, or the organization is actually very, very strict. Okay, whenever any food is imported into our country, okay, our authorities will check. So they need to apply for some kind of permit, right, to sell in Singapore for the food to be actually, imported into Singapore. So when they make this kind of application, they need to send in the sample also of that product. So usually they will carry out chromatography. Okay, and it's not the simple chromatography that they actually do. In fact, chromatography we have many different types. One is called the thin layer chromatography. Okay, not too sure whether you all heard of it, but you can Google and find out. There's actually a lot of them. Ananya, no worries. I know this is the WA period. Okay, I know it's a WA period. Some of you might not have time to even look at the tutorial questions. Yeah, no worries, okay? You are managing many, many subjects now, and the time you come home is already late. You still have homework. Yeah, so no problem at all. Okay, so long as you participate during our lesson, that'll be fine. So when the authorities carry out this kind of testing, they actually can find out, okay, what could be found inside, this particular product or this particular coloring or the food that is being brought in. The sample is submitted today. No, I read your message, today come home at 6:30. Okay, poor girl. Okay, so when they send in the sample, they also need to say that, okay, these are the ingredients inside my food, right? The food product. So the authorities will then check. Okay, so they'll run this chromatography separation. They're going to put all the ingredients that they have stated. Of course, then they also have a certain list of the substances that are not approved to be used, right? So they run all these together. And when they find that there's certain unidentified substance, for example, not inside these list of ingredients that they have submitted, that's when they have suspicion already, isn't it? Okay, they will start to suspect, oh, okay, they added something extra. What is this extra thing that they added in? Then, of course, they're going to do their own checks. They are going to also send back a report to whoever applied for the permit, okay, and tell the person, okay, we actually found that, yes, there are all these ingredients inside the food sample that you sent in. We also saw some unidentified ingredients. And upon checking, this is what we have discovered. There is actually dye A, B, C, etc., or unpermitted flavoring, being added into the food substance, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is what they do. They are very strict. Okay, and also, some of you might be thinking, maybe the first time they send in the good one lah. Then after that, subsequently, they are going to send in, those products that are of lower standard. Okay, no, it won't happen. Why? Because now and then, right, the authorities, whenever they send in a whole bulk of that food, right, in cartons, in boxes, they can actually retrieve a small portion of it. Okay, they are allowed to. So they take samples here and there. They won't tell you which batch they are going to test on. Okay, so you must make sure every time you bring in your food product, it is safe. It is the same thing. So they will just take out some to do some testing because they need very tiny amount, correct? They need very tiny amount only, all right, to actually do the checks, to actually carry out the separation. So yes, they have to be sure, whoever is bringing in the food product to sell, they have to be very confident that it's always going to be clean. Hi, Hannah. You managed to be in early today also. That's good. Okay, so in this case, since dye A and C, have bad effect on people, whenever we find dye A inside this particular sample F, or we have dye C in sample F, we are going to reject. That's what they will do. Okay, our authorities in Singapore reject a lot of food substance. So you realize that sometimes in newspaper report, they will suddenly make an announcement. This particular food product from this brand, sold in NTUC, has to be recalled back. If you are holding on to these food substance, you have not even opened the packaging, you can get a refund. If you have opened already, you must throw away that food product. You all saw this before? It happened to even chocolates, So I also bought those chocolates. So one whole batch of chocolates, I just threw away. I didn't even go back to get any refund. Okay, yeah. There was an accident in Tampines today. Is it? Okay. What kind of accident? Food accident or what? Hannah CCA release early. That's nice. Okay, so same thing. Remember, I told you, right? Every time you want to see what are the substances present, you need to draw lines, okay? Because they will definitely, whatever is contained inside the food substance will definitely travel the same distance. So in this case, dye A travel up to this particular distance is the same as what you see for one spot on the chromatogram of sample F. You also see that there is actually a spot, which is dye D that is appearing on the chromatogram of sample F. So we know that A and D are found inside, but there is one that is the suspicious one, right? Not okay. So if you send this kind of food sample, okay, for the authorities to check, your food will be rejected. Most of the time, they will reject. Okay, and if they find out it's something that is harmful, it's worse. Which dye is most soluble in water? Explain your answer. Whenever we are looking for something that is most soluble, that means it would have traveled the greatest distance. It would have traveled the greatest distance on the chromatography paper. So later, I heard some of you are having assessment very soon, right? So I will run through the entire separation technique once more. Okay, how many of you are having assessment? Type into the chat, let me know, okay? Yeah, having science assessment soon. Just let me know, and this is one of the topics. Okay, so in this case, it has to be dye A. Why? Because dye A has the highest solubility as it has traveled the furthest on the chromatography paper. Okay, since dye A traveled the furthest, it must be the most soluble. Okay, so this is actually the claim. Have you all learned CER? Those who were with me last day, you all know what is CER. The rest of you from other primary school never attended 88 tuition in P6. Do you all know what is CER, the answering technique?
Claim, evidence, reason.
Yes, correct. So in this case, we are also using claim evidence reasoning, but then, okay, reasoning is actually this part. Evidence is actually this part because it is to find some data, some information from the question to tell you that, you have decided this is your answer, this is your claim. Then after that, with the reasoning, right? Okay, this will be part of the reasoning. So the reasoning is actually, I should use another color better. Okay, so the reasoning is here. Okay. All right, so the reasoning is over here. So this is CRE. And I believe your teacher must have told you it's okay if you write down CRE. They taught us in school, but forgot. Do you understand now? So claim is the answer you put down. Okay, like the which dye is most soluble, that is the answer here, the claim. Explain your answer. So what you have written down, you have to explain it. You explain it by putting down the evidence and the reasoning. Reasoning is some scientific facts. Okay, some scientific facts, some background of what you have learned in the theory about chromatography. Then evidence is actually given here because you saw that A traveled the greatest distance. Can Ananya? That is the way to answer CER approach. Now, which or why did dye B remain at the starting line? Okay, common question always will be asked. They also like to ask why the start line must be drawn with a pencil. Correct not? So let's try this first. Why do you think dye B remain at the starting line? Is because it is not soluble in water. Okay. How do you know water is the solvent? Can someone tell me? 29 April to 3rd May. Yes, Hannah. This is a 2-mark question, Nikki. How do you know actually the solvent used here is water? Is there anywhere in the question that says that it's water?
No, it actually did not. So I don't think this answer is correct.
Louis got the answer. Louis identified where it is. Very good. Tammy as well. The rest of you, can y'all see?
Who's Louis?
Louis is one of